Hi friends, Jennifer here with Jen Open Hearts, and for today's conversation, I am feeling really inspired to connect with this this revelation and this insight that I recently had, and it's all about the heart-based leader, the heart-based offering, those who feel a strong calling to connect with the infinite heart field, to see everything that's happening in their own lives in the world, and who are just like, wow, like the world needs more heart. And that's kind of how I'm feeling that life is moving and things are happening, and there's the external world and there's the internal reality that we all individually experience, and that some of us are feeling a pull and a call to walk the path of the heart. And this is a path of courage. This is a path of trust. This is a path of really listening. But I feel in a world where we've been prioritizing the mind and the accolades of academia and notoriety and this and that and the other thing, it's like if you're listening to this, chances are you're somebody who is feeling that pull, like, wow, like I love the heart. I feel so connected to the heart, and I believe that the heart is the answer. And so for myself, it's like I've been walking this path unknowingly for many years, and just developed the words and the verbiage to understand it. And that's been within the last like 5 or 6 years that I felt, oh my God, all of the world's problems can be solved with one thing, and it's the collective human heart. And so it just gives me a lot of hope and a lot of trust, because I feel like there's this is happening, and we need our heart-based leaders to step forward. We need our heart-based healers to step forward. We need our heart-based writers, poets, activists. We need all aspects of humanity to come forward through the filter of the heart, right? We're in a time of increasing division and tension and all these things, and technology is just in this huge renaissance, this upheaval. But it's like, how about the heart? How about community? How about connection? How about remembering that touch is healing, right? There's all these aspects of of the heart field. And I feel like for myself, I had listened to a Matthias DeStefano podcast, and he's just this really incredible teacher from Argentina. He remembers his past lives and all these like incredible things that he's done in his life. And I feel like once he talked about, some of us are here to be a heart cell. If we imagine like the entirety of the human collective, right? There's billions of people on this planet, and so some people are here to be the cell of the mind, and some are here to be the cell of the heart. And he didn't go into too much depth, but that was like one of the examples that he gave. And so it to me, it was like an answer. It was like, wow, like I am here to be a heart cell, and the people I tend to connect with the most are also of the heart cell. If you imagine humanity as this huge macrocosm of beings, there's people who are just on the path of the heart. And so I'm just making this announcement, this share, this this reclaiming of like, those of us who are here and we feel this strong pull to the heart. That's because the heart is wanting us to listen. That's because our own heart is wanting us to connect. That's because we have something to share, we have something to give. And that could be your offering to the world, your gift to the world, but it could also be your place in your family dynamic, your place in your work dynamic, your place in your friends dynamic, whatever it may be. Listening to that, answering the call. It's like your heart is calling. Are you picking up? And I think my heart has been calling me for a very long time. And it started when I was a teenager, and I remember I had gotten this CD as a gift. I loved music so much. I loved emo music. It was my favorite. And so I got this CD, and it was a Bright Eyes. I really was like, had a crush on Conor Oberst and just loved the emo music, folk music. And it was an orange CD that my sister Amanda had given me, and I opened it. And I remember being in the car riding to school. My mom was dropping me off, and my sisters were there, I think. And I had opened this CD cover, and it was my birthday, so it was springtime about this time, and it had a small quote, and it said, "I just want to be warm light that spreads." And it was like a quote, and then it said someone from Toledo, which is exactly where I grew up. So I was like, I don't know what's going on, but that moment sticks out in my heart as like a divine inspiration of like, hey, child, wake up, child. I have a gift for you, child. And I feel like that has been in my memory ever since this day. And I feel like it was the heart that was slowly waking up and saying, hey, like, we got a mission to do. We have something to do here, you and I. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable. It requires a lot of courage. It requires a lot of vulnerability and openness. And I listened, and I wouldn't take that back. And in fact, I feel like I'm going 10x on the heart. And I feel for myself, that's kind of my soul's mission, is to help people who are heart-based to awaken to their gifts, to share them with others in whatever format they may look like, and to embody it myself. And I think that's where it's starting, and where it needs to go. And I know that the people in my life that I'm so connected to is because they carry this capacity to connect to the heart, to be in the heart space. And it's just, it's life changing. That's all I can say. And you know, when you meet that kind of person, you're like, wow, they're in their heart. And I feel so good when I connect to their energy. And so a big theme for myself for this year in 2025, I said in one of my previous episodes that softness was my word of the year, and it still is. But I feel another huge embodiment or practice is connecting to heart coherence. And so I've been a little bit obsessed with heart coherence for some time. It's just now like front and center. I'm allowing her to lead the way. And I heard about it from Joe Dispenza. He's a meditation teacher and just a really phenomenal being who merges together science and spirit in quantifiable ways. And so it's just incredible, because heart coherence is essentially when we slow down and we bring a coherence between the heart and the mind. We're entering this new state. We're entering this new frequency. We are navigating essentially from the heart, because if you can imagine, like, coherence means togetherness, like with adherence. Like, you think of co is like kind of with, herence, we can think about glue, like, right, adherence, adhering, there's like that togetherness. So coherence defines this act of togetherness between the heart brain and the mind brain. So when we allow ourselves to drop into the heart, into the field of the heart, and we can do this in really simple ways by just putting one hand on the heart and breathing in for a count of 5, and exhaling for a count of 5. And we're creating this state. We're creating this vibration, this inner vibration that is extending outward. And so when we do these heart-based practices, like I mentioned, hand on heart, and maybe 3 minutes, just breathing in for 5, breathing out for 5, and imagining your awareness dropping into the actual heart, we are softening the mind. We are softening the thoughts. And so that is coherence, is when the heart and the mind are vibrating in a similar pattern. I have my hands, you can't see me, but there's like one on top, and they're moving in like a wave formation. There's like this coherent energy that's traveling. And on the flip side of that, there's incoherence. And so what is incoherence? Incoherence is when the mind is in the monkey mind phase. It's just all over the place, bing, bang, boom. It's like, it's going very, very fast. And there's no groundedness to it, right? We're up there in the ethers. We're just traveling. And because we're thinking thoughts, we might be doom scrolling. We might be getting afraid. We might be feeling stress. We're sending that stress as a signal in our body. And we're thinking thoughts that are sending, it's a process. It's a actual physiological process in the body. When we think stressed thoughts, we send neuropeptides, these messengers that tell the rest of our body, hey, we're stressed, hey, we're scared, hey, something might happen, And so it's almost like a feedback loop. If my thoughts are thinking this energy and motion or emotions travels throughout the body. And then my mind is like, oh my gosh, I am, this is happening. So it's kind of like the mind is creating it, the body's receiving it, and then the mind is reading what the body just received, which is stress, which is frustration, which is anger. And so the heart is reacting in the same way, right? The heart rate increases, there's erratic rhythms, there's erratic patterns, and all this is happening because we allowed a thought to come into our minds. We were not resourced enough to take good care of ourselves, and that's problematic because if you're feeling the pull to be part of this heart path moving forward, or if you're like, why is my outside world this certain way? It's because you're not connecting to your heart. It's because you're not listening to your heart. It's because you're not slowing down enough. You're not being discerning with what you're absorbing. And so we have this incoherence, right? The heart and the mind are both erratic. They're freaking out. You're stressed. And then we have heart-brain coherence. And that's the flip side. They're opposite. And it's just very fascinating when we start to understand this, because if we're having this incoherence in our bodies, and then we're like going to hang out with friends or family, and we're like, what's wrong with them? Why are they this way? And it's because people pick up on these subtle energies. The heart itself has its beautiful electromagnetic field that stretches out further than the mind, further than any other part of our bodies. And so people feel this harmony, right? So when we are in harmony, when we have coherence, we create a beautiful field that people can feel safe in, right? There's something magical that's happening, and it's not super magical because it's all about what you do with your body, with your thoughts, with your intentions, all of these things. So if we're here to be these heart-based leaders, if we're here to connect to the heart, to remember our gifts and to move forward sharing those gifts, then we have to really listen. We have to really be discerning. We have to really trust ourselves and where we're going. And so I'm just bringing this message forward because it just feels so important in a world that prioritizes the mind and is creating division. It's all about connecting to the heart, being curious, being soft. I can still be a warrior, but I can also listen to my heart. I can still have this job and I can still listen to my heart. I can have disagreements, I can have challenging situations, and I can still listen and tap into the infinite wisdom of the heart. And it's not that etheric. It simply is knowing when you're out of harmony, like, wow, I'm in dissonance right now. There is an absolute dissonance between my heart brain and my brain. And how do we bridge that gap? We go slow. We stop. We listen. We put our hands on our hearts and we breathe. We imagine our heart is breathing, right? So I'm just feeling really excited. I'm feeling really honored and really blessed to be somebody who's sharing this wisdom. And I'm learning as I'm speaking. In human design, I am an ego manifester. So I'm here to make an impact, to initiate people, to activate people, and to essentially help people go from constriction to acceptance to universal love. And I feel that me answering this call is taking a step into fear, because there can be fear when we start to speak up about the things that we are passionate about. And the heart has been calling, the phone line has been ringing, and I am answering, and I'm sharing it with the universe. I'm sharing with whoever's listening. I am picking up that phone and I'm saying, yes, please guide me. So sharing this today for you, in case this has resonance, in case this excites you, in case this starts a revolution inside of your heart, just remembering you're here for a reason. You have gifts. You are here to be a heart-based leader if you are listening. And again, that doesn't mean you have to start a business and be a heart-based entrepreneur, but it can mean wow, in my life and in my job and in my family unit, in my community, in my culture, I can still choose to lead from the heart, because at the end of the day, we are choosing everything. We choose everything. We choose our thoughts. We choose what we wear. We choose how we walk. We choose our posture. We are constantly choosing our reality. And so when we choose intentionally, we say, today I'm choosing this, or I'm choosing to speak quietly, I'm choosing to listen, we create the magic, we create the miracles. And all the catastrophes of the world can happen, all the hardships that we each go through, because we're all going through them. It doesn't matter who we are, where we come from, what we look like, how much money we make, what's our culture, what's our identity, all these things. It doesn't matter. We are all experiencing something that is challenging. And so when we remember that and we look at people with softness, then we create something really beautiful, right? But it starts within the capacity of our own hearts. It's an inside job. How are you connecting to your heart today? And can you honor it? Can you love it? Can you nurture it? Can you imagine the beating heart of the people you love, right? Like, wow, this miracle of an organ is just pulsing, pumping blood, providing the nourishment, bringing fresh blood, fresh energy. And can you imagine that in every single person you love? And can you imagine that in all the people that you have a hard time with, right? That's where the healing takes place. So there's something really big and really wonderful that's brewing. And I just want to encourage you to hold on to the frequency of hope, the frequency of love, the frequency of curiosity. And when you're feeling hard feelings, when you're having a hard time, connect to your heart. Ask it questions. What does my heart need today? What gifts am I not sharing that are ready to come forward? Am I slowing down enough? Am I moving my body enough? All these things. And I could go on about this for a long time, but I think I want to leave it at this spot. But I just want to encourage this in you and to share that you're here for a reason and that you have a service and you have a gift and that the world is waiting. Your spirit is waiting. Universe, God, source, whatever you call the higher power that you connect with, they're waiting for you. They want you to shine. They want you to be the heart-based leader who moves forward on their path, who connects to this deep wisdom, who can still be strong and can also take a moment to connect to that heart. So I'm leaving you with that today, and also want to share that I'm doing a mastermind class all about heart-based offering, which is a new thing that I'm putting out into the world. And again, it's just all about the call of the leaders, the call of the heart-based leaders, healers, guides, intuitives, whatever path that you're taking. I just trust that it can be filtered through the heart. And just wishing you so much love today, so much joy, and may you continue to connect to this beautiful, beautiful infinite container of the heart. Thank you so much, and I would love to hear how this sat with you. So have a good one. Bye.